this is kind of like when Godzilla meets King Kong, and it's a hot mess fight. So we American citizens have to mask up, even if we're vaccinated. But illegal immigrants who are COVID positive can just walk right across the southern border into our country, and if they test positive, get put into a hotel, which they can quarantine themselves out of at any time with nobody watching them, no mask mandate for them, no CDC waiting for them outside the hotel room. Fox News learning that the DHS is even placing some of those infected migrants with a Catholic charity that has no way of tracking them. Local police in La Jolla, Texas, now forced to issue a health alert about all of this. Here's Sergeant Cassis.
If they want to leave and get in a car, we cannot stop them. We don't have no proof that they are positive for the COVID-19. And until there's a mandate that gives us the authority to do that, we cannot stop these people from moving wherever they're going to move.
J.D. Vance in the House on Outnumbered, center seat for the very first time. We come to you first. J.D.
Yeah, well, I think about my 4-year-old son who may have to wear a mask to go to school when he starts school in a couple of months. And you compare that to illegal aliens, people who are breaking the laws of this country, just being allowed to waltz across the border with no real control. And you wonder, is our government just a bunch of hypocrites? They say they take COVID seriously. They're restricting the rights of American citizens, but they're letting COVID positive people walk around the entire country. This just doesn't make an ounce of sense. And I think it reveals to so many citizens that our government doesn't actually care about us, that very often they're putting the rights and the interests of people who don't even belong in the country above the rights and the interests of the people who live here, including our own kids who, frankly, look, I want my kid to see the face of other children when he goes to school. And if we have to get more control over our southern border to make that a possibility, then by God, let's do it.
So, Dagan, Godzilla is COVID in the scenario. King Kong, I guess, is, the ability, the policy coming from the Biden administration for all of what J.D. Vance just said. Come into the country, put them in our communities here, and don't keep track of them, full well knowing that there's a 900% spike of COVID positive among some of those migrants.
Right. This illustrates that Biden and company, that their number one priority is not fighting COVID. It is enabling illegal immigration. It is bringing new potential Democratic voters into this country. Why is our northern border with Canada still closed to Canadians? Vaccinated Canadians until at least late August. Why is our southern border closed to legal immigrants or visitors coming in from Mexico? It is just like our northern border. If the Biden administration was serious about fighting COVID, Title 42 essentially says deport everybody during a pandemic. Everybody. There are no exceptions, and they're not doing it. That speaks to how much they truly care about fighting this deadly disease.
Emily, why do you think they aren't? Is it a lack of intestinal fortitude or something else?
Gosh, I think it's that, Harris, and I think it's a few other reasons. I think we've seen this administration continue to attempt to capitulate to the far progressive left to garner their votes and make sure that they have a support system. I think we've seen them gravitate more and more left as they feel that they're losing that votership and that support. But the whole point, remember, the compassion is cruel, right? I think that's the line that this administration has crossed a long time ago, where when they told everyone they were approaching this from a place of compassion, it's to the point now that the disorganization, the disregard for everyone's health on all sides of the border has truly led to a cruel policy. Harris, you outlined in the intro exactly what border protection has to do. So we know essentially that when the migrants come over, those that are tested, if they test positive exhibiting symptoms, they get put in quarantine. There are those that are then sent to, for example, Catholic charities. And then there are those that are sent to ICE, just to name three sort of forks in the road. Well, in McAllen, Texas, just to name one, there was a 7.9% positivity COVID rate. In ICE facilities, it's at 8.2. Remember, the New York City school system was shut down at 3%, and the CDC continues to maintain that at 8%, I'm sure Dr. Sapphire knows more than me, but at 8%, it is high transmissibility. So the numbers speak for themselves. This is alarming. It's an emergency. and nothing's changing.
So, Dr. Sapphire, I come to you to take us home on this issue and to help us make sense. Because we are a nation, a great nation of beautiful immigrants legally in our country. We wouldn't be what we are without all of them, you know, not having come and gone through the legal process to make us what we are, to help make America great. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who are allowed to roam the earth and live by rules that are meant, according to the CDC, to protect all of us. I mean, pretty soon we're going to be protecting ourselves from them.
Well, Harris, you make wonderful points there, and I can tell you the arduous trek of these migrants is putting them at a higher risk of COVID-19, so it's not surprising that they have higher transmission rates, but also, you know, thinking about infectious diseases as they pertain to migrants like tuberculosis, we have to have situations in place where we test them and we follow up. If we are allowing migrants in, we need to be testing, we need to make sure that they have a place to be quarantining, and we need to be able to follow up with them. If we do not have the support to do that, it makes no sense why we would continue to allow them to come in when our goal is to lessen viral transmission and avoid future variants from emerging. We continue, like Dagan said, we've shut down the borders to many other people, but we are allowing other people to come in unchecked. That makes no sense, and that's politics inserting itself in public health.
You realize you just shook all the apples out of the tree when you mentioned the potential for new variants coming in. They're coming from all over the globe.
Well, unfortunately, that's why we need to work as a country to lessen viral transmission, because the Delta, really contagious, causing higher viral loads, causing people to go to the hospital, which wouldn't have with earlier variants. We don't know what variant is next. The only way to prevent them is to lessen transmission, get those vaccine rates high, and really, as a globe, do everything we can to vaccinate as many people as possible and lessen that viral transmission.
Dr. Sapphire, always thank you. Coming up.